All right, starting up the streaming in 3, 2, 1. And we should be live now. Okay. Greetings and salvations. I am Unthoth Neverborn, the abyss that slumbers. And you... Wait a minute, this isn't working. One sec. Can you give me a test sound? Just say anything.
Yes, yeah, pretty good.
Okay.
You're sounding good right now. I'm just waiting for the catch up with us.
Okay, sorry about that. There was a... It glitched out for a second there. All right, starting over from scratch. Sorry, everybody. Greetings and salvations. I'm Unthoth Neverborn, the abyss that slumbers, and you are listening to Eldritch Rants, the show that dares to ask, is Florida Man the superhero we want or the superhero we deserve? The answers to this question will be by my very small panel, including Absalon, the Alatola of Rockarola, and, of course, William, the man who actually runs Bartertown. At any rate,
it's true.
This weekend, we're just going to general shit talk about crap again. And although I think we have a request to start off with Tariq Nashik, the only fool whose name rhymes so well. I'm not sure if anybody knows, but he came out with a new logo for his censorship program website thing. I don't even want to talk about it. Hold on one sec. I want to take a look at it again here. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen this website he made, but one day I will figure out how to put things up in the corner in that little black space on the screen. I haven't quite figured it out yet. But specifically, he made a logo for his website that I don't know what he was thinking of it. It's a Nazi symbol. I mean, it's a freaking swastika.
Runner of the black man's Nazi regime.
I mean, how? And then he deliberately, it's not a Nazi symbol. And then somebody like drew on it and sent him a copy of the pic. They had like the worst writing. I mean, it's just shaky, but it's a red line. It says that's a swastika. And then so many people put a swastika right next to it. This is a swastika, dude. I mean,
I don't know how many people.
What? Yeah, it has to be. You can't be that stupid. Nobody's that dumb. Like, yeah, I mean, he's trolling. He's got to be trolling.
If that's not trolling, you got to imagine. I don't know how many people work for Tariq Nasheed and his website, but you know, if this wasn't intentional, I imagine at least some other human being looked at this and okayed this and was like, "Yeah, that's great."
Yep, that's good. Yeah, that's totally good. No, there's... Although I do have a similar story. I can believe...
That is perfect for us and our white supremacist hunting website.
I do have a story. I know a friend. I'm not going to say his name because I know he wouldn't like be on it, but he worked as an engineer, and he was working for a company that they used the wrong name for their company, which was actually trademarked by somebody else, and they had to change their name. And they changed their name to a new name, and it was really long and complicated. And he's sitting there and he's listening to it. And while they're doing the rollout, he realizes what the abbreviation is. And he says, do I really need to be working for a company called Klitz? And you had this look from the rollout team. There were 4 people up there going, what? Well, if I put down the abbreviation, it's C-L-I-T-S. Klitz.
Oh,
and there was that look of horror, like, except that of the 4, only one of them had a look of horror. The other 3 were like, what's the problem? And everybody burst out laughing in the room because somebody quietly said, it's short for clitoris, which is a part of the female anatomy.
When you have to tell grown-ass men.
And the guy was, and my friend was like going, my mother will think I'm working for some sort of like phone sex operation. Could we please use any other name but this, please? Please, I don't want to work for Klitz.
What do the companies sell? Sex toys?
No, they were just an IT department that subcontracts out.
IT department?
Yeah, I'm going to call up our IT department, Klitz. Hey, Klitz, how's it going? Oh, Flappy, how are you? Everything's just kind of falling back and forth here. We're all really, we're hoping to tighten things up with little surgery. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, God, but so I can kind of imagine,
needs, especially of the vibrating.
Yeah, we have all your electronic needs. Oh yeah, baby. You've reached the ID department of Clits. How can I help you? The only IT department that has a 900 pay per minute helpline. I'm sorry, but so I can believe that it can get along to a certain point, but there is a point that there should be in-house where at least one sane person comes along and goes, hey, by the way, that looks a lot like a freaking swastika. Because I saw it the moment I saw it. The moment I saw it, that's a joke. That's a freaking swastika. I don't care if you got 4 little laser lines in it. It's a freaking swastika. No, it's not. The swastika isn't slightly rounded. It's, oh, dude. Dude. It must be
straight up a swastika.
Now, understand that there's this weird thing in is it the Philippines? But there's some country, I think in the Pacific, where they love Hitler. They don't understand anything about Hitler, but they love Hitler. Like, he's like very kawaii. You know, it's just, they throw Hitler, they've got like Hitler French fries and Hitler like fast food. It's like really weird. There's this one country where they just don't understand what Hitler did, and so he just became a very popular pop culture thing.
Is it like how the Dutch or like some European country got obsessed over like Trump and his wife and started selling a bunch of Trump merch?
like they just got obsessed about him. It had nothing to do with his politics. They just liked the image. And so I get to see that if I subcontracted out to that country to do my logo, like overseas, I could see how everybody there. Oh yeah, this looks just like a swastika. It's great. It's very. We polled a lot of people in our country and they love it. They love the symbol. It was very good with our focus group here in the Philippines.
Yeah. Well, I know in like Puerto Rico they have like I forget what it's called. It's something like Aunt Jemima or some bullshit like that, and it's like this cartoon, racist black mom kind of thing.
Oh yes, I've seen.
It's like a bag of rice or something.
Oh, there used to be a syrup.
Oh jeez.
And I don't know if you ever know, but Denny's used to be Sam's, which used to be Sambo's, which had this little kid who was basically in blackface. I mean, just weird trivia to throw out there, but Sambo's, they had to change their name.
Who'd have thought the Florida Man episode would be so educational?
They still sell Aunt Jemima up here in Canada.
Oh, I bet. That stuff's great, by the way. I will tell you this. I don't care if it's racist because she's a fat black woman wearing a headscarf. That is some tasty-ass syrup. Okay?
Of course, they did change the picture, like the person that's on the cover of the syrup. She's not a fat black woman with a scarf or whatever around her head anymore. She's just your normal. She looks like Oprah, a slim version.
Yeah,
of Oprah.
and lips smacking lips.
Yeah, they don't. Sorry. If anything was going to counter racism, it would be tasty syrup packaged in racism. But what could be so bad about black people if they taste this good on the inside? Seriously.
Oh, so you're saying black people are
talking about that
syrup?
Brown sugar, Eldritch?
That brown sugar. Wow. Anyway. A little. Sorry. We've gotten way off topic. We are somewhere in the nether regions right now. Oh, but Tariq Nasheek, what is wrong with you? It's either trolling or he is...
Has to be trolling. I'm just basing this off of his past. He's done stuff like this. No, not to this level, but just... I swear he's a scam artist.
Oh yeah, no, I mean scam artists, and
I wouldn't be surprised, but I feel like so many people like this have drinking the Kool-Aid that nothing surprises me anymore.
It would not fool me if he was honest and just incredibly stupid, but yeah, I do believe he's probably, because he does have the scam artist feel, and I've known a lot of scam artists, and he has that feel of late stage scam artist where he's scammed for quite a while. He's gone through a lot of money, I'm betting, because I knew a guy who was really good at scamming. Does he sell
products?
Well, I knew one guy who didn't sell anything. He just sold bankruptcies. He would run up a lot of debt and file bankruptcy and then run up a lot. But eventually, at some point, your history catches up with you. And you think you can keep getting away, and you can't anymore. And then you start doing really crazy, desperate shit. And this could be just him reaching that point of, my God, I can't scam people anymore because they're all caught up on me. I need to up my game to something truly crazy. I need to invoke Nazis.
Okay, let's talk about his background a little bit. So he made this hit song, right? So that's one thing he did. Then he wrote a book on how to pick up women, and then he wrote a book for women on how to gold dig. So he's done these questionable things.
Well, now I'm more on board for this conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
this is crazy, man.
yeah.
Are you gonna Alex Jones this podcast? Telematics with Tariq?
He's making the frogs gay. Tariq Nasheed is making the frogs gay with this whole wash your ass crap.
He's turning the blacks to Nazis.
I'm an actual ass wiper at my job. I wipe actual ass because, you know, I work in the mentally and physically. I work with people who can't wipe their own ass. Somebody's got to wipe that ass. I wipe that ass, and I do wash that ass. And how dare he mock my clients who can't wipe their own ass? He's demanding they wash their ass when they can't. That's why I work. That's my job. I wash that ass. Dear God, he's so ableist. He's an ableist freak and a Nazi.
It's true.
That's my best rant. I'm sorry, he's just an idiot. There's no need to rant about Tariq Nasheed. He's just stupid. I mean, he should be ignored. That is the curse. Shunning. If you want to hurt somebody in this age, you just shun them. Just ignore them.
Hashtag shut up Tariq.
Hashtag shun Tariq. Yes.
There we go.
Okay,
We're putting a spin on it.
Hell yeah, Florida man can. Oh yeah.
Okay, well, briefly, I just want to touch on this real quick because it'll only take 2 seconds. Donald Trump Jr., he's broken no laws, rules, or regulations. He was never even a politician, and there is nothing wrong with anything he did, even if he went there and personally received information that was completely fabricated. So since he broke no laws, there's no point in actually talking about it until there's some scrap of proof that shows something actually bad happened. Any questions?
No, I'll just throw my comment, my 2 cents, 10 cents, 2 cents. But yeah, so so it was 2 cents. Okay, yeah, I'll throw my 2 cents.
But you're worth 10 cents.
It's Canadian. 2 cents becomes 10 cents.
It's true.
Yeah, exactly. I just think I just think the news. It's just a slow day at the news, and they're just trying. As that's all they're doing. They're trying to bring up dirt on Trump through his family members because they can't do anything to him, so they have to go to his family members.
There is just a room somewhere in CNN with a bunch of sweaty writers trying to find out how to connect literally anything to Trump and to make it into a bad thing.
Yeah,
and they can't. So what are they doing? They're resorting to his daughter and Trump Jr., right?
There's only one theory that I want to throw out there because it does kind of make sense. There's no proof to it, but it makes sense to me. The actual person who Donald Trump Jr. talked to was let into the United States without a visa on a special accept permit and was seen 5 days after the meeting, basically with the Obama administration. The theory goes as this: if Obama actually legitimately 100% believed Donald Trump was working with the Russians, what better way to perform a sting operation than to actually dangle the bait of working with the Russians in front of him? Except the problem is no information was changed hands. Going to talk to a Russian isn't illegal, and the guy isn't even in the EU government. So at the time, Donald Trump wasn't even in the government. He was just running. And if you're going to say every time you talk to a foreign government in any capacity, you're breaking the law. Hillary Clinton, I would like to mention the millions of dollars that went into your slush fund from various foreign governments while you were in office. Okay. If talking to a Russian
let's talk about Bush.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about Bush with all the Middle Eastern countries.
If this is a line you can't cross, then we need to start rounding up Democrats and other politicians and just throwing them in the gulag. So let's stick to the rule of law as opposed to the rule of emotion and move on. I don't think that anything involving Donald Trump ever needs to be repeated again unless some proof comes out that it actually was a conspiracy against him. So,
right.
At any rate, I wanted to get that out of the way just because it is a topic of the week. But dear God, I wish it's more interesting to me the slow death of mainstream media. They are dying. Have you seen the latest? It continues the CNN memes. Oh my God,
yes.
Some of these are amazing.
Yeah. We are talking about how they blackmailed some random Redditor for sharing a fucking meme that the president shared.
Oh, yeah. And their new excuse is the minute the president noticed him, he became news. And so he's not allowed to be anonymous anymore. Oh, by the way, anonymous speech isn't free speech. No, it's free speech. Anonymous speech is free speech.
They were crying that the president was inciting violence by sharing a meme of him in his time at WWE taking down CNN.
And you know what I love?
And we're supposed to trust these assholes as the good guys, the ones providing the real news. Meanwhile, they're fucking blackmailing some random Redditor for making a dumb meme.
Oh, the perfect counterpoint to that
real news, my ass.
You know about the play where Donald Trump is killed in effigy?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Somebody's photoshopped the Donald Trump's face to be CNN, and then all the people stabbing him to death had Donald Trump faces.
Oh, that is perfect.
And it's like
because CNN was going after that play.
Oh yeah, they were going. Oh yeah, this play, it's just art. It's just art. Really? Well, this is just art too. You got a problem with it? You got a problem with us stabbing CNN to death? You're just a logo. You're not even a human being. You're a company. You don't exist. You're only on paper. You're not real.
I love how some of them were like, violence against reporters happens all the time. I'm like, you guys act like you're fucking war veterans. Sure, news journalists, get over yourself.
Everybody who was decent in mainstream media has left. This is the Pareto effect, where if you lose 1%, the top 1% of your producers, you lose half of your production. Okay, they've been hemorrhaging the best talent for years now, and it's finally come home. The people who are remaining are complete morons.
Mailmen get put in more danger than these reporters.
Oh yeah. I'm in the foreign. I love the foreign correspondence people, and you're actually watching them. It's like, dude, do you ever get within like 100 miles of a war zone, or do they just kind of make some noises near you and put a helmet on your head?
With CNN, you never know, because I mean they'll stage protesters too. They'll bring them in on buses.
Oh God, yes. It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense what they do. Oh, hey, Knuckles, welcome by, man. We just started like 15 minutes ago.
Hey,
we haven't even gotten to Florida Man yet.
Yeah, Florida Man does whatever a Florida Man can.
Yeah, we were just talking about the slow death of the mainstream media. I mean, it's. Oh, by the way, that's what I wanted to talk about. I remember I looked it up. Since this all started, I know it's not much, but when you have 3.56 million shares, Time Warner X, TWX, which is the parent company of CNN, has lost $3 per share since this mess started. And for the first time today, they finally had an uptick on their stocks of a couple of like 40 or 50 cents. But they've lost $3. Now, $3 out of 3.56 million shares is almost $10 million.
That's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, you lost $10 million over this. How you feeling now, CNN? I'm sure eventually they'll rebound.
Please believe us. We're the good guys. But shut the fuck up and don't make memes or else we'll beat your shit-ass dog. And
you know, the problem is though, I try to listen to every talk show I can, at least a little bit. And I've been listening to Glenn Beck on and off. For a while there was okay, but he's gotten back into being all this emotional crap. And since this show is about teaching content creators, there's something I think I have learned. If you don't you can rant a bit, that's fine, but you need to make it clear you're ranting. In general, if you're reporting on something, try to give them all the facts as detached as possible, and then stop and say, okay, now we're going to talk about my opinion on this. Give everybody the facts, let them make up their own feelings, and then if they want to watch you, go blah, fine. But don't just give your opinion. When you just give your feelings, nobody cares. That's kafifi. Okay, in case I've defined it several times, it's a combination of covering your own feelings, not covering the topic. Whenever I hear kafifi on the radios and all these stuff, I can't stand it. But when they're only giving me the facts and then they stop and they go, you make up your own mind. I'm like, wow, I like that. And you can cover more topics when you don't cover your feelings. And you just say, here's the facts, moving on. And that's my recommendation to people. Don't try. If you're going to be a ranter, Separated, say, here's everything up front. Okay, now that we've stopped that, now my head's going to spin around and spew pea green soup. But yeah,
CNN is melting.
Yeah, they're melting because nothing they do isn't Kofifi. They are 100% covering how they feel about Trump, not about Trump. And NPR is the worst. Oh dear God!
I remember they tell everybody how they should feel about reporters and the media.
Oh, you want to know the most horrible thing they've done?
We as the media need to tell you how to feel about the media.
Yeah.
When has anybody cared about how the media feels about anything? Their job is to facilitate us knowing what's going on in the world, not how they feel about it.
Didn't they recently say that something like
no, the quote is
stupid 4chan memes are more dangerous? They literally released an article saying something like stupid 4chan memes are more dangerous to society than fake news that we produce.
Oh, the part that I loved is when they were going on about this. These people are trying to control your minds, and they shouldn't be doing it. That's our job. I love that CNN quote. That is it's our job. It's our job to control your minds, not theirs. Oh,
and during the whole blackmailing thing of the Redditor, they released an article bragging about how they fucking did it.
Oh yeah,
that went through writers. That went through producers to okay.
Well, they hired BuzzFeed. They've been hiring BuzzFeed. It's because they can't find decent people anymore who are going to work at their job, so they've been hiring from BuzzFeed and other places like that. They've run out of decent people to hire, and all they got is these new college graduates. Anybody who's got half a brain cell looks at CNN and goes, holy crap, I'm not signing on to that sinking ship. And so you get BuzzFeed. And
I just love how
BuzzFeed wrote the article. Really, it was everybody who wrote that article was related one way or another to BuzzFeed.
Man.
But the thing that I wanted to talk about NPR real quick here is they did this thing where we've created a database of all the terrorist attacks that have happened, in the past 20 years, broken down by individual date and location. And they're going on about it, and they're talking about it. I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. Like, there's all these attacks. Like, the attacks in the United States and in the Western world is actually a small, very small percentage of the total attacks. And I'm like, my God, I can't believe they're admitting this, that there's so much more terrorism in the world than the little bit we know, that there's terrorism everywhere, and we need to help all the other people in all these other countries that are no, that's not what they're saying. What they said is, there's so little terrorism in the United States, so you shouldn't really worry about it. That is literally what they said. There is so much terrorism.
What we're doing right now is kind of working.
Yeah, no. We have so little terrorism in America. You shouldn't worry about it at all. You just accept it. We're working as hard as we can to be equal to the rest of the world and have just as much terrorism as everywhere else. That's what I heard. That is what I heard. We're trying so hard to be equal.
Maybe what that should tell us is that we shouldn't adopt principles of other countries.
Yeah, maybe the solution is we shouldn't accept terrorism, period. How about zero tolerance terrorism? We have zero tolerance for bullying. How about zero tolerance for blowing people the fuck up? How about that? How about zero tolerance murdering? I don't know about you, but I can go zero tolerance for murder. I'm for that, 100%. 100%. I will not
zero tolerance for murder, zero tolerance for rape, zero tolerance for child molestation.
But we should go easier on women because when they murder men, they don't do it as lethally.
Eldritch, you're being some sort of a bigoted.
No.
They don't murder as hard.
There was a Florida woman. When I was in Florida, there was a Florida woman who caught her husband cheating on her in bed. What does she go and do? Grabs a chainsaw and chops her up into pieces. In the end, he looked like ground beef when the police showed up.
Yeah, she only killed him a little bit, though.
She only killed him a little bit. Women are far more delicate when they murder you. It's men, when we murder you as hard as we can. But women, they're kind of, their heart isn't in it, so we shouldn't.
Ground beef.
Women have to murder your feelings first.
Yes, they have to destroy you completely.
That's why she named him.
That's a great segue into Florida Man. Shall we move on to Florida Man, or is there anything else?
Florida Man can. Oh yes, the Florida Man can.
Oh, we should make that a song that we could play. It's like When you need to do something absolutely crazy, who do you call? Florida Man. Florida Man.
Oh, anyway. The Florida Man can.
The Florida Man can. All right, let's start off with Florida Man and Cookie Monster.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
So much stuff happens in Florida that I have this conspiracy theory. I feel like during the 2012 supposed apocalypse, Florida never got the message that it didn't happen, so everybody in Florida is living it like it's the last days on Earth.
Oh, yeah, it's like post-apocalypse.
Yeah.
I just don't know, but I like this one. Oh, Florida Man. Florida Man is in jail after police found over 11 ounces of cocaine stuffed into a Cookie Monster doll during a traffic stop Wednesday. After being asked through Facebook, joked that the doll cooperated and was released without charges.
You gotta be shit.
Man, Sesame Street really went downhill after Trump stopped funding to PBS.
Here's the crazy thing. They set his bail at $7,000. Dude, 11 ounces of cocaine. 1 ounce of that, I think, is like $7,000 these days. Holy crap. But yeah, they pulled him over because he was driving with heavily tinted windows, an obscured license plate, and apparently like a whiff of marijuana rolled out of the car when he rolled down the window. And they said, hey, dude, you know, since I like see this cloud of reefer smoke drifting past me and birds are dropping out of the sky, let's search your car a little bit here. And they found the cocaine-filled doll, so...
You know, I think Florida Man might live here in Texas with me, because last night, the very last vehicle I repoed, we had to call the police on because it had 4 ounces of coke, 4 grams of crack, 8 ounces of weed, a bottle of synthetic urine, and yeah, I'm not even kidding. This guy was prepared.
Know what you're talking about?
Yeah, he was ready to go, man. He had we found a glove box full of .45 caliber ammunition, so. Oddly enough, the guy never called to report his vehicle stolen.
Well, in Texas, you call that a crime. In Florida, they call that a fun weekend.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Florida Man lives in Texas too.
Well,
no, but again, that might be his evil twin brother, Texas Man.
Yeah, we should work on Texas Man at some point. But fortunately, Florida Man is a kind individual who helps out raccoons with his car. Because in the back seat of a convertible, a raccoon crawled in at an auto detailing place and gave birth to raccoons in the back of a car in the middle of a auto detailing shop in Florida, Manatee County, where they have the Strawberry Festival, in case you didn't know, Manatee. Yeah, they have a whole festival based around strawberries when they don't grow very well down there.
What a hero Florida Man is.
Strawberries.
Yep, he had about 5 babies in the litter, and, well, that's, you know, Florida Man in his car.
Wow.
The crazy thing is that a wildlife rescue group came in and said, oh, we've got to, you know, do something about this, and tried to save the raccoons, which are pretty violent creatures, actually, around here. They will freaking tear you up.
That's how you save them. Take them out of the car before it gets like 190 degrees inside.
Yeah, they did save the babies and everything, so that's good too. But yay, Florida Man.
The happy ending.
People don't even hunt raccoons anymore because, especially if you live near a body of water, because raccoons will like get your hunting dog's head and dunk it under the water and drown it.
Oh yeah, yep.
Raccoons are insane.
Raccoons are very intelligent, you know.
Raccoons also carry rabies rampantly, and they also carry toxoplasmosis in their feces.
Yeah, so
and they'll steal your bike.
Really? That's a new one.
That was... We'll let that one go.
Yeah.
However, Florida Man seems to have had a problem. Florida Man has been having... all this has been getting to Florida Man, and he decided to finally end it all. So he got inside a pickup truck and set it on fire and crashed it into a government building on the Florida Panhandle. The police rule it as apparent suicide, apparently setting yourself on fire and crashing into the side of the town hall of Panama City. Although they're not entirely sure what started the fire. I believe that it was just Florida Man's pyrokinesis. That he just finally said, enough is enough, willed his car to catch on fire, and drove it into the side of town hall. So, you know, we mourn the passing.
You know, if Florida man finds problem with our politicians, I'm sure they're doing something sinister.
Yeah, they took a while to find him. They found him eventually around at 5:15 after he'd been burning for a while. But the government center opened up at about, you know, noon. So he only delayed work for a little bit with his burning suicide.
Wow.
Wow. But that's in Florida.
Wow,
Florida, they use that sort of
silence.
thing.
Wow. That Florida man. Wow.
Can we all have a moment of silence for Florida man?
Yeah, because apparently it didn't stick. The Florida man, that man, he tried to commit suicide, but it wasn't any good. He got back up, crawled up out of his own grave, and so he tried suicide by cop. Yep, in Crystal Springs, Florida man.
Man, he's fast
Lunged,
too.
yeah, he lunged at them with two cops with a knife after, you know, he was having a violence call from his mother. His mother said, Florida man's totally upset. He tried to set himself on fire, and now he's got a knife, so the cops showed up. And he threatened to slice the deputies before you could possibly taser me. So they said, okay, if we can't slice you before we taser you, they both pulled out guns and apparently put a couple rounds in his chest. So apparently Florida man said, wow, I'm not bulletproof. And
Well, he wasn't fireproof either.
the crazy thing is that he threatened to kill himself by threatening to slit his own throat. So in the attempt to save Florida man, they put a hole in his chest.
I'm not really. I'm kind of wondering, is that really considered suicide?
See, we've got a storyline here. You see, Florida man, he tries to bring cocaine to the raccoon family in order to save the babies with the cocaine drugs. It's a numbing agent for raccoons, I'm sure. Instead, the drugs catch on fire. He goes into the building of his enemies as a last-ditch effort. He's fighting off the evil hordes of the communist cops and gets gunned down like a hero.
Well, the big problem is, of course, when Florida man dies, his soul goes straight to hell, and it usually takes a chunk of the planet with him. In this case, in Miami, when it went to hell, it caused a sinkhole large enough to take out a boat and 2 homes, and prompted officials to evacuate a dozen other homes today, actually. There's a dramatic video that shows the home in Land O Lakes, yes, like the butter, in North Tampa, collapsing into a hole Friday morning. It quickly engulfed one home, and then a boat, and then consumed about 80% of another home. I'm assuming the other 20% is uninhabitable, but probably not for Florida man. Florida man will be like, yeah, I can deal with it. But yeah, it stretched up to 200 feet wide and just went, ah. They called it depression.
I don't even know what to say.
Although they did save 2 dogs in the second home that was collapsing before they got consumed. And nobody else got hurt, apparently, but, man. Oh.
I just don't even know what to say anymore.
Just churning mass butter.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, Florida's a nice place, but it has more sinkholes. I mean, I'm not saying sinkholes don't happen anywhere else. I've seen it happen.
Maybe my theory is holding up. Maybe the apocalypse is happening in Florida.
Yeah, maybe it's just Florida that has the apocalypse. Maybe just Florida has the apocalypse. We have the apocalypse, but it's just in Florida.
Yeah, it's going from state to state in a very slow manner. It hasn't left Florida yet.
The big concern is that they're worried that it's going to completely trash the sewer/septic system of the entire community and basically just pollute a nearby lake. So, yeah, that's our concern. That's our concern. 100 homes are in danger,
Ninja Turtles,
but we care about a nearby lake getting polluted. I love the priorities.
You know, it probably already is polluted. Like, there's nothing you can do about that.
Considering.
Well, you could bore holes into the ground and inject concrete at random, I guess. But besides that, yeah. But apparently,
Florida man has returned to the earth.
Of the first family, there were apparently 4 people in the home. No, I'm sorry, 2 sisters were renting the home, And they decided to leave early to go visit a neighbor right before the sinkhole happened. So little luck there for Edna and Teresa. Oh, but the first home apparently had 6 dogs in it. So we've rescued 8 dogs, Edna and Teresa. Yay.
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 Fuck
By the way, they're
people.
from Cuba.
Yay, Cuban cigars.
Yeah,
It
Cuba.
all makes sense now.
It's something to do with the cocaine. Yeah, the cocaine was there. Came from Cuba, apparently.
It's all coming together. The plot thickens.
Now, this one is cross-state, but part of it's Florida. This isn't strictly Florida, man. I just wanted to bring this one in because I think it's something I wanted to talk about briefly to be a bit more serious. There have been $1.3 billion in fake Medicare, Medicaid scam over the past year in regards to opioids, and 58 million worth of false treatments come out of a single Florida rehab. Basically, my point about all of this is if you want to talk about what Obamacare does, Obamacare, if you look at the stats, has made it possible for 80,000 more people a year to die from overdoses because the new access to Medicare and Medicaid, basically the cheapest way to treat pain is to give them opioids, which leads to addiction, which leads to more overdoses. So technically speaking, since people can say that if we institute Donald Trump's plan, 36,000 people a year will die. Okay, well, if we keep Obamacare right now, 80,000 people a year are dying from overdoses because of Obamacare. Okay? So I just wanted to mention that. This whole free drugs to everybody thing is a really bad idea if you're going to the lowest bidder doctor. And that's what Medicare and Medicaid does. It's the lowest bidder. And they solve the problems the cheapest way possible, which is have some, Vicodin. So, any thoughts?
Don't get me started on the freaking drug companies, man. Ugh.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. Yeah. I can see why they backed Obamacare now.
I actually just watched I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just watched a documentary called What the Health, and a big part of it was about the pharmaceutical companies and how it all ties in with all these cancer associations, this and that. You have companies like KFC, right? Being a big sponsor for all these different heart health associations.
Jahadi Fried Chicken.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I wish I could tell you guys the name of the last company I worked for, but if I did, I'd be breaking an NDA and I'd probably go to prison for the rest of my life. But let me tell you, there is more to the medical industry when it comes to the drug companies than you guys will ever know. Especially when it comes to cancer treatment, cancer research, diagnostics and stuff like that. There is more money in diagnostics alone that people have no idea is there. I'm talking billions and billions of dollars. People have known how to cure cancer for hundreds and hundreds of years. I mean, I could tell you on here, but I'm not going to. I feel like living past next week, but I don't trust the medical industry. I do not trust drug companies. If you have inflammation or if you have an infection, you want to get rid of it, just mix some honey and some turmeric and take a couple tablespoons of that shit a day and you'll never get sick again, ever. You want to not ever get sick again? Eat one meal a day and let that be it, and you'll never get sick again. It's really that simple. Do not trust the drug companies, man. Don't do it.
In some regards, I'm with you on a bunch of stuff on that. However, with the patients that I deal with, I've seen them off the meds.
Well, it depends on the meds. It depends what the meds are for.
And some in most cases, for most people, unless you have a serious illness, you're better off in dealing with the pain than treating it usually. I mean, yeah. But
well, it depends. If it is a pain issue, that's something different. But if it's for no, I'm not even going to go into it.
I mean, but just as a side note here, with some of our clients, I've seen them, but we're talking major psychotropics here. We're talking about people who can't figure out how to use keys indoors.
Mind-altering drugs.
Yeah, something to bring them back around from hearing multiple different planets in their own head.
Yeah.
And so when you're dealing with violent people, sometimes that's necessary. But that's just a summary there. But no, I'm with you. There's a lot of questionable stuff, but we'll get more into Florida Man at this point. Unless anybody else has any other topics about drug companies?
I just want to say, watch that documentary before it gets taken off of Netflix, because it most likely will. It goes into a lot of that shit. What the Health? It's on Netflix. Watch that shit. It's actually making me want to go vegan because all the stuff it talks about. Yeah.
No, I'll never go vegan.
Yeah,
I know better.
Although something as a note, I finally got back to talking with my old friend who helped write NAFTA, and he's been going on. I'm trying to get him on. I want him to come on and talk to everybody. So I don't want to go into the details. I'll let him explain it if he does. But he was his new thing he's going on about is his friends who come back from the war, and apparently they give him a steady supply of drugs that are supposed to treat various local illnesses. And he's going, we had them tested, and actually they're like rage-inducing drugs.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
And I'm not sure if Knuckles you can confirm that or not, because it's a rumor. It's like third hand, but it sounded like an interesting thing that they've been.
If I were, it's bad news. And it's not
just handing everybody out Psycho Jet.
Yeah, basically Jet from from
Fallout.
Fallout. That's what they've been doing to people, and it's like, and it really screws these guys up when they come back because they're like. Really
what they don't tell them also is it builds up in their liver too. It builds up in their systems. And the problem with that is when you stop eating a certain way, it releases it all at once.
Oh, it's fat soluble. Yeah, that's nasty stuff. I've seen that effect on people. Fat soluble drugs, when you lose weight, the drugs build up in your fat, and then you lose weight, and you get like a whole new set all at once. Same thing with LSD.
Yep.
All right, just wanted to get that out there. If I get him, I don't want to go into too many details because it's all hearsay. But if I can convince him to get on, I want him to come on in. Because you guys will, when you hear about what happened with NAFTA, you'll be like, what? That is effed up.
I have insights to that too. You got to remember,
he's kind of scared though, and I can understand why. I can understand who the people used to deal with.
I live 7 miles away from the border of Mexico. Trust me, I see it firsthand every day.
At any rate, back to Florida Man. Florida Man decided to redeem himself a little bit and decided to call 911 all 98 times on Monday. And then he finally got arrested. Apparently, the guy was trying to get the money back that was seized during his drug arrest.
Maybe that was his car that I impounded last night.
Quite possibly. Quite possibly. And the thing is he didn't just call, he kept switching phones. He kept knowing that eventually they would try to track him down, so he kept using different phones and changing his location to harass the police into giving up his drug money. Like, what the hell? Like, if you have enough presence of mind to figure that out, can't you be of enough presence of mind to go, you know what? I don't think the cops are giving me back my drug money.
Maybe I should just cut my losses here. Jeez.
How screwed up is this guy?
He needs the drug money to fund Sesame Street. It all connects.
Just wow, man. The mental capacities of some of these people that we share oxygen with just boggles the mind.
It's all part of Florida Man's brilliant plan, don't you see?
Yeah, he's... Oh, I'm just at a loss.
You gotta get woke, man.
Yeah, I'm just at a loss for words. I don't go to Florida. I stay the hell out of Florida.
I briefly want to give a little message of hope, and I'm going to finish up with Florida Man, but I want to briefly talk about Florida Woman. Florida Woman, fortunately, is still in jail. I don't know if you heard about Florida Woman, but she is a former escort convicted of trying to hire a hitman to murder her newlywed husband. So she basically married a guy and then tried to have him murdered. This is back in 2009. Didn't succeed in killing him, but it was exposed through an undercover detective. And she tried to get a new trial, claiming one of the juries fell asleep during the trial, so it wasn't a good conviction. And then they said, okay, well, let's look at all the videos. And not in one video, after the judge himself, Glenn Kelly, looked through all the videos, said, no, he does not appear to have slept one moment. So screw you, no new trial. So just a little bit of sanity there. Some woman trying to use the pussy pass for murdering her newlywed husband did not get to use it. Did not work this time.
Denied.
Yeah,
Sounds like
denied.
a season pass to Pornhub.
Yes.
So bad, so bad.
Final Florida man this week. Skydiver in Florida called his wife, sent a video to her, I'm sorry, that he wasn't going to pull the cord on his parachute and arranged for it to be sent minutes before he was going to jump to his death from a plane. So Florida man finally decided, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just not going to open my chute, and jumped out. Whoosh.
I guess Florida man's superpower is that he can't die.
Yeah, Florida man, no matter how much you lock him up or kill him, he keeps coming back somehow.
As much as he wants to, apparently.
Every week. It's like, this guy just won't die.
Yeah, the problem is that when her
Maybe
wife got it,
it's
she
the
got a
hollow
hold of the skydive to land. They called up to the plane, but it was too late. He already jumped. And then he refused
It
to open
sounds
up
like
his parachute.
Florida man is actually Bill Murray from Groundhog Day.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think Florida man's like Bill Murray. He's like trapped in Groundhog Day, except the day goes along. He just keeps coming back over and over and over, no matter how many times this guy kills himself. And I mean, Viantonio? Some Italian guy. I got no idea. I mean, we don't have the details as to why, but... But his quote in the video was, "I'm going somewhere wonderful." And apparently what is wonderful is approximately into the ground at about terminal velocity. Wham!
I wonder if he bounced.
Usually they do. Although I know personally one guy who in the Army jumped out of a plane, parachute didn't work, he hit. He bounced twice and lived. Luckiest man ever. Body freaking, lucky in so much in that every single bone in his body was broken and rebuilt with like long rods of metal. But
Jesus.
Yeah, he survived constant pain and got a huge settlement apparently because there was something manufactured wrong with the parachute. But I met him. A friend of mine through college, and I'm like, wow, you survived jumping out of a plane. He goes, yeah. And then he hobbled along on his crutches.
Such is the duality of man. Some people can survive that, but others die in the presence of peanut butter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man is a tough beast, and then very frail in other ways.
Man. Good old Florida man. Every week. Well, he always gives us something to talk
Maybe
about.
Florida man jumped out of the plane and expected to land into the churned butter that is in the other area of Florida.
Maybe he made the sinkhole when he hit.
Yeah,
maybe.
250 foot deep hole. Boom. That'd be funny if you jumped out of a plane and hit a sinkhole and made it. You're like, dude, that's 50 feet deep, man. How'd he do it? He's Florida man. Florida man could do it. Florida man could do it.
Florida man is truly a marvel of our greatness of humanity.
Current society.
Well, I wanted to get through Florida man. We got an assortment of other stuff if anybody wanted to go over some weird stuff, or we can wrap it up here. I don't know what you guys want to do.
Let's see. Is there anything interesting in these topics?
Well, we got the university professor who can teach Shakespeare through a social justice lens. That's going to work out for the California State University.
How does that even
overturned truck?
How does that even work?
He wants to replace Shakespeare's portrait with a black lesbian feminist poet.
You're kidding.
Nope.
So it's add Jemima all over again.
Yeah, he wants to make William Shakespeare into Aunt Jemima. Gay, lesbian, Aunt Jemima writing bad poetry. And everybody just snaps.
Wow.
This takes slam poetry to a whole new level.
Hell yeah, those are my people.
Oh dear God, we're all going to hell. But that was California. California is the one who's got the truly progressive and understanding and, humane groups out there. Yeah.
Man.
Would you rather
those
live
male
in
feminists
California
always.
with the progressive people or with Florida man? Which one?
I like Florida man. I can't stand California. I could be pushed into the sea for all I care.
Oh, don't worry. it will
Florida
be.
man sounds like someone I could have a beer with.
Yeah, I agree. Florida
Oh,
man sounds like he can be pretty laid back at times.
yeah, when he isn't like freaking out about his drug money. That man loves his cocaine, man. He needs to. Somebody needs to get him into rehab. But how about
Well,
the?
think about it.
No, go
At
ahead.
least he cares about the animal.
Yeah, he
cares
does
about
care.
the animals.
Yeah,
he
he
cares
gives-
about wildlife.
He cares about wildlife, and then he sells drugs. But you know, he cares about the wildlife. He's humanitarian, at least when it comes to you know,
He also
rabid
cares about the
raccoons.
environment.
He cares about the environment and how it creates sinkholes that just because he wants to destroy all these towns that are polluting the environment. He cares about the lake, so he's going to just with his sinkholes.
Destroy the town.
Yeah. How about we go to Oregon briefly and talk about a truck hauling eels overturned, turning the coastal road into a slimy mess. What?
Oh, so now we're going to talk about Oregon man.
Oh, what the hell? Well, this is West Coast, the whole West. I consider Florida, everything on the West Coast, on California all the way up to Oregon is all. It's all the same to me. It's all West Coast.
Yeah.
But what the hell are you doing shipping eels? Why do you have a truck full of 7,500 pounds of hagfish, commonly known as slime eels? Not just ordinary eels, they're slime eels.
You've never heard of unagi before?
No, is this a real thing?
Yes, it's called unagi. It's smoked eel, and they use it in sushi and sashimi rolls and stuff.
Have you
like that.
heard of hentai, Eldritch?
Yes, I've heard of hentai. I'm a tentacle being, of course. I've heard about it, and it's very prejudiced against us tentacle Americans. Okay, I as a tentacle American, I am very offended by hentai. I do not probe any orifices. Thank you very much.
As a follower of the flying spaghetti monster, yeah, I think it offends my religion.
It's true.
But yeah, a flying container hit one vehicle, caused it and 4 other vehicles to be pushed into each other and sent hagfish with their secreting slime, since they were apparently still partially alive.
Have you seen
sent
that video?
everywhere? And they had to bulldoze the road and hose it off. You had to bulldoze slime eels off your road.
Just bad.
There's eels and cum everywhere.
What kind of? Yeah, they secrete a slime. I don't want to know where it's secreting from. Why are they all writhing about? They're secreting. Should we be censoring this? Should we be pixelating what they're doing? Is this FCC compliant? That's what I want to know.
This does sound like some millionaire's sick fetish fantasy gone horribly wrong. Or horribly right.
There's a short 1-minute video of the slime eel / hagfish in your general chat right now.
Oh my.
We'll
They're
look at
not
it
really
real
bad
briefly.
little critters.
Oh, they don't look too bad. Nah. That's not
Just
bad.
poor little critters. Where's Florida man when you need something saved?
Yeah, Florida man would save those eels. He would have pulled them right off he would have put them back in and said, we will rescue these guys. Of course, they're going off to
Well, at
dinner
least
tables,
they lived
but
a noble death and not into the vagoo of a weeaboo girl or lad.
Ugh.
well.
I see these posts everywhere. Hagfish is the slimy sea creature of your nightmares.
Or your
Should we go into the
senses.
California bank robbery?
California bank robbery.
Ooh.
Oh, by the way, I love this one because I'm not sure how to feel about this one, but I did want to bring this up when I saw it. A deputy leader of the Australian political party announced Friday that he was ending his 9-year career in Parliament because he discovered that technically he'd never been a senator. Apparently, the 47-year-old deputy leader of the Minor Greens Party said he is personally devastated to learn that as he was a citizen of New Zealand as well as Australia, he was completely ineligible to run for Senate. And apparently, even though he's been in office for 9 years, he is a citizen of a foreign power and not eligible to be elected. So he had to apologize unreservedly for this. It's an oversight on my part, and I'm sorry that I got elected in your country. At least I can run in New Zealand elections in September. Oh, my God.
Wow.
I mean, that's kind of stand up to sit there and go, you know what? I know I got elected 3 times. But the big problem is that they could demand him to repay the millions of dollars in salaries and expenses that he's claimed since 2008.
Well, what has he actually done in his time?
Apparently, he was very well liked. He got reelected 3 times.
Yeah, that means he must have been actually successful at the job that he was hired for, which means they can't really sue him for his salary because he performed the duties of the position.
That's based on a foreigner runs your country better than you.
Yeah, my personal opinion is just go, you know what, look, we'll call it a mulligan, renounce your citizenship of New Zealand. Renounce your citizenship of New Zealand right now, we'll call it a mulligan. You know, that's what I would do. I mean, if he said I'm not going to, then I'd be like, okay, then you're gone.
Yeah, get out.
You know, I mean, rules is rules, but we'll call it a mulligan. Everybody makes mistakes. Apparently people love you. You're still a citizen here, just renounce New Zealand. So that's what I thought should have happened. Because honestly, the guy gets elected 3 times. He must be doing something right.
Yeah, he's got to be doing the job.
Yeah.
I mean, a company's not going to keep you hired for 3 years unless you're performing the job, right?
Yeah, and reelected 3 times. That's impressive. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That you've got to be doing something good here.
Bittersweet, as it were.
Let's see if we have any other stupidity left in there. I think we're dragging the bottom here. Oh, another California.
What's this over?
Yeah, you forgot about the California bank robbery.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, California bank robbery suspect found inside. Wait for it. His couch. Yes, that's right. A bank robbery suspect was arrested after officers found him hiding inside a couch in his Southern California home.
How did they find him? Did they sit down on him?
It does not say, but I'm kind of curious. And if it's a folding couch, have you ever had one of those couches that turns into beds? I remember when I was a kid.
The hide-a-bed.
The hide-a-bed. Yes, it was possible as a kid to open up the bed, crawl inside, and then pull the bed in, and there's a space in the bottom of the couch that you can hide in.
Yeah, very, very tiny. So I don't even know. They must have brought the dogs in there.
Yeah.
This man either had to be
maybe must have
looking
brought
like
the
a
canine
fucking
unit.
idiot or a complete
they
genius.
did with the help of a police dog who was found
Oh,
inside
there
a
you go.
couch. Like,
That's pretty
he modified it himself. Well, this wasn't a fold-a-bed. This was a modified couch. So he personally constructed this 39-year-old man who robbed a bank with a semi-automatic handgun using a large envelope, demanding money, fought ahead far enough to create a secret hiding space in his couch.
You gotta admit that's
Well, that's a lot less entertaining than hearing that a female cop sat on his face and that's how they found him.
That would have been funnier, but I mean, just think about it. If you have enough smarts to think that far ahead, why are you a criminal? I mean, if you've got that level of problem solving, get a freaking job. Make a job making couches people can hide in and sell them on eBay. Hide a couch.
Design couches that you can use for storing stuff that nobody will find.
Yeah. I take normal couches and I put it.
You could sell it to the Florida man, so he can put his.
Florida man needs
cocaine.
it. Yeah, he so needs it for his cocaine, man.
He could hide his weapons.
Yeah.
He could put his eels in there.
I mean, that's an industry, modifying couches to hide people.
Made in heaven.
I mean, it's not as good enough to help from police dogs. If you could work on that a little bit, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what you would do for the dogs, but maybe. I mean, I think there's a market for that. You could get a job doing this.
Do you know what he could do? He could make big scented footrests. That way, when the dogs come in, they go straight for the footrests and leave the couch alone.
Because everything's better with bacon.
You know it. And dogs love bacon, man. You ever seen them Bacos commercials?
Oh, yeah, bacon. I got a t-shirt that says, "We'll work for bacon."
Bacon and female dog hormones.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you'd never get caught.
Well. Let's see. Anything else?
What's this about Pope Francis takes moaners?
Oh, hold on one second.
Takes what?
Which one does it start with? Which one does it start with? Oh no, no one.
It starts off with no complaining. Pope Francis takes mourners.
Oh, okay. I think I remember reading this one. Hold on a sec here. The Pope basically put on a sign that says "No complaining" on his door in the Vatican City. Yeah. Apparently, Pope Francis carries the weight of the poor's suffering and their sins on his shoulders, and he's here to help everybody, but he is not going to deal with people whining at him.
Well, the Lord is a busy man. He's got things to do. He can't deal with your petty problems.
Yeah, apparently the Pope's personal psychologist gave him the sign to put on his door to help him with his issues.
Wait a second. The man who is supposed to be in direct communication with God Almighty has to have a psychologist?
Yep, apparently he's been feeling gloomy lately and doesn't want to deal with gloomy believers, so he's telling them to stop grumbling and cast off their melancholy. In other words, the Pope is saying, suck it up, Buttercup.
You gotta get through me. Bada bing, bada boom, capiche.
Yeah.
Although I'm not entirely sure if I'm against the sign, because it does say in small print, moaners are subject to developing a victim complex resulting in a lowering of their capacity to solve problems. So, the penalty is doubled when the violation is committed in the presence of children. So, you know what? I kind of can get behind that, because that is true. If you're a whiner, you're in danger of developing a victim complex. Sometimes you do need to just suck it up, Buttercup, and get the job done.
The Lord hath foretold to me, stop being a little bitch.
The Lord does say it. Stop being the bitchest.
God said it, and it was good.
God says stop being a bitch.
Stop thine whining before thou art served with cheese.
Ooh,
before
Texas.
I have to get all Crusader on your ass.
By the way, there's not much about this little article, but since you were talking about Texas, I wanted to briefly mention it. Oil pipeline rupture in Texas spills 1,200 barrels of crude. That's all it says.
Oddly enough, I am in Texas, and I have never heard of that story.
Yeah, this is from yesterday. You think that
hillbillies of Hollywood?
Yeah, there's not much to it. I'm just wondering if it's just one of those general ego-complaining things. Like, it could be, we spilled 1,200 barrels. Okay, are you talking about, like, just normal everyday leaks, which is the thousands of miles of piping lost like a drop every mile? So, technically, that's like,
for Texas,
10,000 gallons?
This kind of story for Texas is like publicizing that your next-door neighbor's dog crapped on your lawn. Nobody cares. In Texas, we don't care. As long as you're not trampling our rights or trying to take away our guns, we don't care.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Well,
I see a story.
I forgot the main one. We skipped over it.
Oh.
Can we do a U.S. reality show, Murder for Hire?
What?
I missed that one. Let's get that one, and then we'll get to...
It's near the bottom.
U.S. reality? What's it start with? U.S.
Yeah, U.S. reality show, Murder for Hire.
Just these topics are killing me, man.
I'm having a senior moment. I can't see it.
It's between police calls arrest and skydiver death.
Yeah, I see it. U.S. reality show, Murder for Hire.
Oh, that was the one. That was the woman. That was the woman.
Yeah, judge accuses him of trying to hire him, man. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, we have, after this next one, we only got kind of depressing topics. So if you want to get onto depressing and serious stuff, we can, or we can make it a separate video if anybody wants to do depressing, and not everybody. But I do want to start with Kekezuela. I definitely want to get this one in.
Oh, okay.
Venezuela cop in helicopter attack attends opposition rally. Remember when we talked about the guy who stole the helicopter, flew over the Supreme Court of Venezuela, and dropped grenades ineffectively on the building before flying off into the night, and they couldn't find him? Well, he's back. The same guy showed up at an anti-government demonstration in Caracas. The guy is becoming like a freaking folk hero. They still don't have his name, and I hope we never find it. I hope nobody ever finds his name, because this guy is so base. He is based. He is totally based. Oh, wait, no, they do got his name. Damn it, they do got his name. Yeah. Oscar
so this is
Perez.
The kind of guy we need to keep around, right?
Oh God, yes. He needs to be giving out helicopter rides to these commies left, right, and center. The government called it a terrorist attack, but this guy showed up to talk to journalists at a vigil for the 90 people killed so far in the past 3 months and the thousands who have been disappeared. And then he hopped on the back of a motorcycle and sped off. I mean, my God. Wow. Everybody believed he fled the country, but nope, this guy is like, nope, I'm not going anywhere. I'm fighting for my country.
Jesus Christ is Oscar Perez.
Godspeed, saint-based Oscar Perez.
This guy has got to be Florida Man's South American twin brother.
He is so Kek. He is the definition of Kek. He is. Wow. He is Saint Perez. I mean, seriously.
Florida Man has.
I want to make a fan page to this guy, and we need to start memeing like him, like I don't know, like holding up the planet like Atlas or punching. So what?
He's trying to do a. He's by himself staging a coup against his corrupt government.
Well, no, I think basically what he's doing is the government is saying we are going to get this guy. There's a nationwide manhunt for this man, and he's like saying, "Nope, you haven't caught me yet. You guys suck." And just by surviving, yeah, this guy stole a helicopter, dropped grenades on their Supreme Court, and is still like showing up at anti-government protests, going, "Nope, you haven't got me yet. By the way, I'm gonna jump on this motorcycle and shout, hi ho, silver, away!" and right off. By the way, everybody gets a rusty bullet because I can't afford silver ones.
This guy is a Saturday morning cartoon hero.
Yeah, this guy is a member of G.I. Joe. Like, if G.I. Joe...
I was just about to say.
Like, you know how G.I. Joe has all the weird people from all over the world where they've got, like, you know, a guy who wears nothing but cold weather gear even in the middle of a swamp, you know, and then the ninja doesn't say anything. Yep, this is him. He should be in G.I. Joe. Oh, he is so Kek.
What would his G.I. Joe name be? What would his G.I. Joe name be?
Helicopter, right?
Nah, he's got to have something cool.
It's got to have something to do with Kekistan.
Yeah.
Kekman. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll work. Who knows? We'll figure something out.
Yeah, they'll meme something up on this guy. But this guy,
no.
He just, my heart goes out to him. I wish him the best of luck. Because this is twice he's, you know, if this guy can keep it up, he'll be a freaking hero. I unfortunately fear he will be a martyr, but with any luck, the people will protect him. And I think they will.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I think they will. I think there's going to be people who are going to be like, yeah, I'll turn him in. But I think there's a lot of people who are going, no, this guy hasn't killed anybody yet. He scared the crap out of a bunch of people. All he does is show up and say, the government sucks, bye. And he's just saying what everybody else thinks.
I know what we'll call him. We'll just call him Apache.
I kind of like that. Apache.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's his freaking G.I. Joe name right there, Apache.
Yeah. So, based Apache, we salute you.
Or Kekistani Apache.
Well, we all need to give him the Kekistani salute. Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3.
Next thing you know, we're all going to be...
I'm sorry, 1 sec. He needs a re. All right, so go ahead, Knuckles.
Oh crap! I forgot what I was gonna say.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I've been hit in the head too many times.
Know the feeling. Oh wait, can we talk briefly about Shia LaBeouf?
Oh yeah.
What did that poor sap do this time?
Oh, it's a good one.
Shia LaBeouf is in trouble again.
I honestly thought he was still at that museum.
Oh, well, he was he was not at the museum. He was just telepresencing to the museum. He was actually in an isolated cabin in the middle of fucking nowhere. But
yeah, and 4chan managed to fuck with him at the museum, too.
I'm sorry, you can't make this up. The Troubled Star was recently filming his new film, The Peanut Butter Falcon, in Savannah, Georgia. And apparently a couple of weeks ago was spotted urinating in the ocean on Tybee Island. But that was not the problem. Nope. Recently, apparently, he was publicly intoxicated, stumbling down the street. He came up to a couple and asked for a cigarette to take the edge off, and they said, no, we don't smoke. Whereupon he started cursing them out in front of their children. Then when the cops arrived, he ran back to his hotel to avoid arrest. And when they came in, and you've got to see the video. You must see the video. I wish I could play it, but you must go and see it yourself. Where the cops, which are it's like a black guy and a black woman who are arresting him. He is so fucking racist. He is just fucking racist and sexist. He just completely. Ever see that episode with Marsh's father? I forget what his name is, Mr. Marsh, on South Park, and he's at the baseball game. Stan Marsh, and he's getting drunk, and he gets in fights, and then the police come and arrest him. He's got his pants around his ankles, and he goes, "What are you doing?" What? He sounds just like that guy. What are you arrested? This is America. This is America. This is my hotel. This is my hotel. You can't arrest me in my hotel. Oh my God. And he's just going on, and he's like, you're lucky I don't have a gun or I'd shoot you. And he is just, and the things that he calls these people. Oh my God. And this is the guy who's like, he will not divide us. I just wanted to say, this fits my theory that I think secretly all Democrats are racist, sexist, bigots. They all are. That's why they do this identity politics. They are the racist, sexist bigots.
Is Mr. The Beef
yeah, Mr. The Beef.
Liberal? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You never saw his He Will Not Divide Us live stream?
No, I don't really pay much attention to celebrities.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll give you the baby free crap. Shia LaBeouf decided to make a art exhibit where he put up a webcam at the side of a museum, and above it he said, "He will not divide us," and he was going to have a bunch of people there for 4 years chant in front of the camera saying, "He will not divide us," in regards to Trump. And of course, everybody on the internet turned up to troll the shit out of him. You should look it up. It's got some shit, including the origin of the word "re." Any rate, it got so bad they shut it down. He started it again in New Mexico until there were shootings around the corner from the place. Had to shut that down. And finally he said, you know what? I'm just going to put a flag up in the middle of nowhere, and I'm going to put a camera.
Each time, mind you, he's getting more and more unstable.
Oh, yeah. There's this one scene of him being arrested after he flips out, and his eyes are so red, but he's got this forced smile, and you're like, that is the face of a broken man. That is the face of a man who has been shattered. And so he puts this flag up on a flagpole, and he points a camera at it, so you can't see anything but the flag on the pole. And what happens within 29 hours, everybody on 4chan using the stars, the angle of the sun, listening to croaking frogs, analyzing what those croaks were like to find what breed of frog that was and where in the United States it would be. And then 3 planes passed overhead at the same time. They checked through all the records to find 3 planes at exactly that instant, that equidistant from each other. Then had some guy drive around in the general area honking their horn until people on the feed said, I can hear your honking. And then they narrowed down and stole the damn flag in 29 hours. And Shia LaBeouf was broken. He was broken. He tried one more time, and he brought it over to England and put it on top of a building. And in less than it was 2 days. It was 2 days before they found it. And then they freaking had like ninja frogmen wearing frog uniforms climb.
Oh, they had armed security too, by the way.
Oh, yeah, and the armed security went after them. They ran away, and in order to lose the security, they dropped the flag on the street as they ran. But, I mean...
They still got it.
But, I mean, that was... So he tied on that one. And everybody was going, do it again. This is the greatest capture the flag in the world, Shia LaBeouf. This is your thing. Keep doing this. It's all you've got. Nobody cares. But it didn't matter. Then he went and sat in some frozen wasteland in a cabin in the middle of nowhere where he had cameras on him 24/7. And they filmed everything he did except go to the bathroom. And he let people go into this museum to ask him questions. And then people would go in. And, of course, the trolls showed up. The trolls just kept trolling him with the stupidest questions. And then he got... drunk and attacked some people in a Waffle House. No, it was a bowling alley. and then he peed in the ocean, and now he's threatening to murder cops.
Well, no.
And he finally entered himself into rehab.
That.
Oh, I'm sorry. You go on.
Yeah. So, after that failing, where he's sitting in the cabin in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, he's like, okay, if I put it up on a website, no one will be able to fuck with it then, right? It's just this shitty gif of a flag saying he will not divide us. Nope, they got him there too. They fucking overloaded this site or did something to it. Site got taken down. Site was absolutely fucked after 4chan.
Oh, they denied the service? Oh my god.
They either, however the hell you overload it or hacked it or whatever.
DDoS.
Yeah.
He did a denial, most likely a denial service on some level.
Directed denial of service.
Or maybe they hacked it and just screwed it up, which is possible because.
Yeah.
I imagine his password is like 123456.
Yeah. They might have hacked it and put some other image. I don't remember. But either way, it got fucked with.
Yeah, last I heard, he said, I'm an addict and I need to go to rehab, and he put him into rehab, which is a smart move for him because at this point, you know, your best defense is to just say, I'm a drug addict, please take care of me, because I have no doubt he actually is. I have no doubt he actually is a drug addict, but man, that guy is broken. And it's because he took on 4chan. He took on 4chan, he took on Poll. He decided to take on the internet and say, you're all a bunch of racists. But when you listen to him in this video when he's drunk, and my opinion is, if you've got that part of your brain when it tells you to shut up turned off, that isn't, oh, please forgive me, I was just drunk. No, that's how you really feel. And now that you're not drunk, you're telling us the facade that you put up. Okay? Mm. And deep down underneath, this guy's he just sees black people as a different caste. And that's what identity politics does. You know, it is the bigotry of low expectations. You look down on whoever you're trying to help. Oh, you poor black people. You can't take care of yourself. I'll give you a hand up because I'm Shia LaBeouf and I'm better than you in white. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I think he actually said shit about him being, like, better or that he shouldn't be arrested because he's white.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I mean, I'm wondering if he's trying to be sarcastic, but it was pure cringe. I mean, my brain almost turned inside out. That's how much cringy it was. It was, it was just horrible. And you're just sitting there going, and I almost feel bad for him, except that he asked for all of this.
Can we say
for it?
Divided.
Oh, I think he united America against Shia LaBeouf. I mean, everybody is united in thinking he's a fucking moron. And I'll tell you this, if he wants to come on the show anytime, if you're hearing me, somehow you get here and you hear this, you're welcome to come on and explain yourself anytime. And we will treat you with the utmost of respect while you're here and only mildly rib you. Because you've done some really stupid things, so we've got to make some jokes at your expense. But we will give you an honest hearing because, God, I just want to get inside his head. I want 10 minutes inside Shia LaBeouf's head.
Good old Shia.
Like, what are you thinking even filming a film called The Peanut Butter Falcon? That is like train wreck. What is this, made for, Lifetime Movie Network? Is this some chick flick? I mean, God almighty. What is wrong with you? Or is it biological? Sorry. Anybody have anything to comment on Shia?
Not really.
I think we said Shia, please come on the show. Also, Florida Man, we love you.
Yeah, Florida Man, don't ever go away.
Godspeed, Florida Man.
Oh, and shout out to Randy Raccoon who just showed up in the chat. Hey, Randy, how's it going? Did we ever fix your Discord? Hey, right. There were a few other things left on the list are all depressing. I don't know if you guys want to go over it.
How long have we been going now?
We're pushing 90 minutes, so this is usually about the point where we start to wrap up, but I don't know if you guys wanted to talk a bit.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm probably going to go ahead out then.
Yeah, it's 1 a.m. Yeah. I think it's a good place to wrap it up. At least we're ending on a happy note.
Yeah, I keep forgetting you guys.
Yeah, but overall, hey, Knuckles, glad you could stop by. Randy, I wish you could have stopped by earlier.
I wish I had seen the invite earlier, but I was a little bit on the busy side preparing for a friend of mine's wedding tomorrow. So.
Oh, you're only 10 minutes late, so it wasn't.
Yeah,
At any rate, we tried to do it around this time every week. You know, I try to get around 10, but that was about an hour and a half late starting because of work. But otherwise, you know, anything else before we wrap things up?
Nope.
Alrighty. To sum it up, it's been real and it's been fun. I'm not sure if it's been real fun. Moonthorpe Neverborn, the abyss that slumbers, and you have been listening to Eldritch Rants.